first, now we are coming to the radio. Do you want to know how messages were conveyed in the past in your locality? You can ask your elders about it. You can ask your father, mother, uncle or anybody how they were passing the messages. What questions would you ask? Frame at least 5 such questions. Here we are going to ask about the messages, how they were getting. So kindly ask the questions that are suitable to the media. You want to know how they were getting the messages. Accordingly, you ask the questions to your elders. So we are coming to the radio. We are with the next topic, the radio. The radio is just over 100 years old. Just over 100 years old means the Marconi, who has invented it and passed the first message in the year 1895, it is given in the textbook. But exactly when we think about 2021, it is 126 years now. So 126 years back, only that much years are there behind us when they began this radio. That means most of us know what this radio is. But to say that about the telegram or the Pony Express, and you may not know because it is long past. So here this radio is only 126 years, so that you will know about the radio. And again, if I say about the radio, most of you have vehicles at home and you have FM in the vehicle and you are so familiar with that. So here the radio is just over 100 years old. It was Marconi who invented an instrument to send the wireless message. He sent the first radio message in 1895. 1895 he has sent his first message. And you know that it is invented by Marconi. This marked the birth of the radio. The first message when he passed, that means that marked the birth of the radio. It is a wireless instrument. It was in fact developed from the telegraph. We know that after the telegraph only the radio has come. In the previous class we have learned that. Now it was in fact developed from the telegraph, which was invented by Cook and Livingstone in 1835. We can say that 1835 was the invention of telegraph. After 1835, 1895 only the radio has come. Later it was perfected by Morse. Perfected means everything, you know that media changes. Its terms and physical appearance even will be different. Quite example, if we go to any fabrics or any jewelry, you will see the different way they are arranging it. Why? To attract the people and for the smooth running of it, and people should be attracted to it and so on. So here the word telegraph is derived from the two Greek words telos, which means distant. Telos, distant means it is little far, distant, and grapho, which means to write. The invention of the telephone by Alexander Graham Bell in the year 1876 was another revolutionary step in the field of communication. Then we can say that we know that telegraph came in the year 1835 and then came the radio 1895. But we can say that the invention of telephone by Alexander Graham Bell in the year 1876 was another revolutionary step in the field of communication. That means it has to come before radio. Though it has come in the textbook, when you make it as a line map, you have to write after the telegraph comes the telegram. Then comes the radio. So 1876 was another revolutionary step in the field of communication. It became more popular because the person at the other end could hear the speaker's voice. It was not like a telegram, because people can hear you. While we are having the telephonic conversation with another, they can hear us. So that will become more prominent or more special to the people. So we surely live in a better world, don't we? waiting for a message. Can you imagine that? If your mother is road and you want to talk to her, you send a message and you want the answer back just then, but you are not getting it and you have to wait till next day, how you will feel? So that is how they are finding different varieties of communication media so that the life of human will go on smoothly. There is a question here. What are the advantages of the radio over the television? Discuss, write down your points. The ones here we can understand that we cannot discuss since you are there at home, but we can have a Google Meet. But here now we have St.Teresa to help us to understand more about the radio, and that will be a real help for you to attend to this question. We shall now listen to her.
Hi all, I am St.Teresa and today I am standing before you to give you a small introduction about the radio. The radio was first invented by Galileo Marconi in 1894. He was also the first person to send a radio message across the Atlantic Ocean. Later in 1920, the radio was completely changed into a bulky device with a nice components that are in wooden cabinets. And during 1923, Edward Armstrong invented the superheterodyne radio. The design changed and it was easier to use. Now we have different types of radios with smart sort of controls and new complexes. The radio has changed due to the technology found and will continue to change as the technology develops. Now let's see the advantages and disadvantages of radio. The advantages of radio are frequency, flexibility, target audience, mental imaginary, and high level of acceptance. Its disadvantages are lack of visuals, clutter, and scheduling and buying difficulties. Hope you all found my video useful. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
So you have now listened about the radio, not the means of communication used in the near past or at present. So let's now find out what is in the near past. That means just before our lifetime. Maybe our parents or grandparents, what they were using. They were all using this radio. But nowadays it is switched on to something else. So let's see. In the near past, we are depending on the postal services to send the letters and postcards. Today it is email. You are sending the letters. Then coming to in the near past, waited a long time to get the reply. And here we get today through SMS, mobile phone facilities, radio, television and internet. So now the communication is still faster. So can I ask certain questions to you now? How many radios are there in your house? Including transistor and CD player. Write down some of the advantages of radio programs. What is the advantages that you see in the radio programs? Why do you like such programs? If you like such programs, give the answers for that. There are different types of programs in the radio. There are pop music, classical music, light music, national news, local news, quiz time, stories, plays, sports, advertisements, different types of programs are there. And which one do you like? And the time duration that you are taking for it? Again, what language do you prefer? Good to know about your taste towards the medias. So kindly fill up the columns as you reflect on yourself, understanding the program, which program you put a tick mark there, then the radio station, which one, then the language and the time duration of it. We surely live in a better world. When we think about the world our grandparents had, we could say that there wasn't a kind of technological development at that time. Now all of us mobile in our hands, but they were sometimes using the land phone, or even they were passing the messages only through the letters and so on. And here we are living in a better world now. We have got all the specialities, we have got all the things at home. Imagine waiting a fortnight or more for a message to reach us. Imagine that you wanted the answer from your parents, those whose parents are abroad, and you want the answer then and there, but if you had to wait for a night, how you will feel? Look at the cartoon here. What idea do you get? The girl is saying, let me see the cartoon please. The little boy is saying, I must see the cricket match now. And mom is saying, I have my favorite serial now. Let me see it. And grandma is saying, it's time for Ramayana, I want to see it. And there is only one TV. And maybe father is watching the news. But we have to prefer what we want to see at the proper time. So dear ones, television as such is good. But coming to that, we should also know the advantages and disadvantages of television. It should not take more time or our full leisure time before the television. Serials are good in such a way, but always if you are before the television, one after the another serials, you are just going to lose your day. Find out, reflect on it, whether it is necessary for you, watch it or switch on to the educational matters that will surely help you for your study. We have seen the cartoon in the textbook, page 82. What ideas does the cartoon convey? Do you have such experiences in your home? Can you explain? From the cartoon we have understood that television has a great role in the family life. Because your mother is always at work and she wants to have her leisure time. So it is better for her to sit before the TV. And as you are students, now Victor's channel is providing the educational part for you all. You too need the television. Father, after his work, when he comes home, he wants to just listen to the news. Concerned with the boys, we know that they love to watch the cricket and football. And if there is grandmas and grandparents at home, they love to have this devotional channels. What does the grandmother like to watch? What is the boy's preference? Do all the people have the same taste in watching the TV programs? Whom do you support? Why? Now we are here with another media, the television. The television brings the world in front of us. While sitting at home, we can see the things that are happening around. Even in other countries, what is happening, we will come to know. Example, the COVID epidemic time, we could very well know about what happened in USA, what happened in Kuwait, what happened in Arabian countries and so on. So here the television brings the world in front of us. Everybody likes to watch it. Do you like to know something more about the TV? Here we have Abhirami to give more insight on television, and she will be presenting before you all the 4 main things that are concerned with the television: the entertainment, education, influence and information. And this clipping will surely help you to do your activities well, and she also will be giving you an insight on advantages and disadvantages of television.
Hello everyone, I am Abhirami Enviju from Standard 70. As we all know, we have started our new chapter, Math and Media. Through this title, we can understand this chapter is about the medias. During this COVID pandemic, we are locked in our houses, but we know what is happening in outside through the social medias. We have so many social medias like this: YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, television, etc. But mostly we are using television to know the outside news. So Now we are going to discuss the subject television. So let's go through it.
Do you know who invented the television? It was a Scotsman named J.L. Bird. Bird made it possible to present moving and living pictures of men and events on the screen. In those days, it was only in monochrome, black and white. The color television became popular in 1970s. The television mainly does four things: entertainment, influence, education and information. Here we have an activity in page number 84. List a few television programs and write them in appropriate columns. Here we have a box. Instead of that, there is two columns. First column, types of TV programs, and second column, purpose of the programs. Here we should write types of TV programs instead of the hints given by the textbook. I hope that you all completed this activity and sent to Sr.Niranjana. Here we have another activity to do in page number 85 is a few advantages and disadvantages of TV are given in the columns below. Analyze them and add more ideas of your own. I will give you two examples of advantages and two examples of disadvantages. Advantages: provides instant access to news and other information. Reduce stress. Disadvantages: discourages outdoor activities among children. Promotes violence. Now you should write the balance of advantages and disadvantages of the TV. I hope that you also do this. Now complete the two activities which I give to you, and I hope that you all understood about the television. Thank you.
Thanks to Abhirami for presenting your video such a worthy manner. Now we take the page 83 from our textbook. The television. The television is one of the miracles of science. Though the television we keep in the corner of our house, but we go around. We go around the world in educational matters, geographical mode, entertainment, films, movies, advertisement and so on. It is not an idiot box but a magic carpet. Just imagine, whatever we want we can just change the channel and watch. Do you know who invented the television? And here we have Adulya to speak about the person who invented the television. Let's know his biography.
A warm welcome to the gathering. I am Adulya PG. We all like watching television, isn't it? So, let me introduce someone to you. I am quite sure you must have heard of him. The one who invented television. Yes, you are right. It's J.L. Bayard. John Logie Bayard, commonly known as J.L. Bayard, was a Scottish inventor, electrical engineer and innovator who demonstrated his working television system on 26 January 1926. He was born on 13th August 1888 in Helensburgh, UK. He went on to invent the first publicly demonstrated color television system and the first viable purely electronic color television picture tube. In 1928, the Bayard Television Department Company achieved the first transatlantic television transmission. Bayard's early technological successes and his role in the practical introduction of broadcast TV for home entertainment have earned him a prominent place in the television's history. During 2006, Bayard was named as one of the 10 greatest Scottish scientists in history, having been listed in the National Library of Scotland's Scottish Science Hall of Fame. In 2015, he was inducted into the Scottish Engineering Hall of Fame. I hope you all have got a brief knowledge on J.L. Bayard. Thank you.
Abhirami has mentioned the color television became popular in the year 1970s. Its vast potentialities as a powerful medium of mass communication cannot be underestimated. It is indeed one of the best sources of entertainment and enlightenment for all. One of the best entertainment, because we can sit at home and enjoy the programs. It is indeed one of the best sources of entertainment and enlightenment for all. Programs on subjects like health and hygiene, nutrition, family planning and agriculture are of immense help to men especially in rural areas. The television plays a very significant role in educating the farmers on the use of different kinds of fertilizers and pesticides and new methods of cultivation. So now we know, first it was best, we know that it is best for the students for educational matters, for mothers it is a leisure time, and for the people who are in the rural areas, it is good for them to know about the health and hygiene. And another significant role of the television says here, it is very much applicable for the farmers for using the fertilizers and pesticide and adapting the new methods for their cultivation. In addition to giving villages professional guidance, the television can present a whole variety of cultural programs as well. Because the people in the village, they may not get the seminars or classes that we get in our town or in our school premises. We know that the village people are not getting resources for them to do their cultivation well. So this television is very appealing to these farmers. Man is born in the stream of culture because man's life is always connected with culture. The invention of the television has enabled him to enjoy and see with his own eyes the cultures of different people living in different communities. For example, when we have the Independence Day and Republic Day, we will be able to see or we will be able to watch the different dances from different parts of India. They will be playing according to their culture. So sitting at home, we can see all these different varieties of cultures. Now there are 4 questions concerned with the 83rd page. Why do we say that the TV is a magic carpet? So imagine yourself, find why it is called the magic carpet. How is the TV helpful to the people in rural areas? It is given here in the textbook. Go through the textbook part once again and find the answer. How is the TV helpful to the farmers? In what way is the TV helpful to propagate culture? In each paragraph they have defined it very well. Find the answer. This medium of audio-visual communication has a very powerful appeal. This medium of audio-visual communication, that means we can hear and we can watch, see. So both the things are there, both the senses are active there. It can therefore be used for educational purposes also. Lessons on science, mathematics, geography and other disciplines are often telecast. And we are quite sure that during this corona time, most of you all are watching it. You are taking the YouTube or you are watching the television and you are getting more knowledge from different medias. In order to educate the public, more programs on traffic rules, health and hygiene, law and order, problems, etc. are also to be included. So this will be a real help for the people. When we were having the corona, our Prime Minister was asking us to keep the day for cleanliness, to keep the day to honor the health workers. But how we came to know about it, and we could also hear him talk to us. He spoke to the whole people of India, and we could hear him, and we could also oblige to the norms and rules. We have to obey the health department, and we could do that while we watched the TV news. The TV programs usually deal with many other subjects and topics of current importance. Now, the election time, people are going or moving towards the localities, places. They are presenting before us all the things that are going to do if they are winning in the election. All those things, the current affairs even, we are coming to know from the TV. 2 more questions are there on page 84. In the field of education, the TV plays a dominant role. How? Dominant role means the TV is the best for educational matters. How? How does the TV entertain people? Reflect on it. Then you write the answer. As we have learned about TV programs, just imagine if we are having a formal function. What are things necessary for it? You have done your programs as we were having the PTA meeting, class PTA. You were the MCs for that. You were arranging the program, so you will know better. First we will have the prayer, then welcome speech, presidential address, inauguration, topic presentation, felicitation, vote of thanks. Before vote of thanks, if you are performing any programs like singing, dancing or any other program, you can add to that. Okay? And at last you will end with national anthem. So those will be the formal function programs. You have seen that the TV is one of the most popular mass media. By mass media, we mean the ways in which information can be passed on to a large number of people very quickly. Now here is the text, in the textbook it is given a collage at the newspaper. It is given in the textbook. And what do you notice here? Do you have the habit of reading the newspaper regularly? We have told you that it is good for the students and all the people to know the happenings of the world. So it is good to watch the news and to read the newspaper. What kind of news items do you read first when you get a newspaper? We can see the people who are very much interested in the sports, they will be taking the newspaper and they will be going to the last page first. But there are people who really want to know what is the current problem or current affairs of the nation, and they will first focus on to the first front page. Do you make a collection of news items? I know quite sure some of you are making already the news cutting. When we had the COVID album making, you have already collected the newspaper cuttings and you have made even the magazine out of it. So here we have Sr.Niranjana to speak about the newspaper.
Hello everyone, it's me Sr.Niranjana from 7D. Today I'm here to speak a few words about newspaper. What is a newspaper? A newspaper is a periodical publication containing information about current events. Newspaper can cover a wide variety of fields such as politics, business, sports and arts, and often include materials such as opinion columns, weather forecast, reviews of local services, advertisements, etc. Newspapers were developed in 17th century as information sheets for merchants. By the early 19th century, many cities in Europe as well as North and South America published newspapers. Generally, a newspaper have editorial board. Quality newspaper employs a general pattern of news factors, whereas the financial newspaper consistently relies on less news factors in its reporting. A news should be contain catchy and symbol-heavy, and its body should be informative, accurate and impressive in its language. A newspaper should always report truthful news. Reading newspaper improves one's general knowledge, public awareness, etc. Moreover, it influences our reading and language skills. So, read newspaper and gain knowledge. Thank you.
We are with the newspaper now. It's very common and familiar media to you. And as you know, in the newspaper there will be headlines, and the headline should be catchy one. From 5th standard onwards you are writing the news report and you are doing it very well, and you know that you have to have the catchy short headings, and there should be place, and the first part should be connected with the headline. Then the second paragraph has to be said what is the matter. Then the third paragraph you may write the culmination of that problem, what is in the news. In the newspaper you know that there are different varieties of news you get: national, educational, sports, agriculture, and about the foreign matters. Then comes for the regional newses, and you are getting most of all the different varieties of newses about Kerala and about the national level and international level. Newspaper. The world moves very fast and events happen very quickly in every sphere of life. Everything moves so fast. People keep in close touch with the latest developments by reading newspaper. By reading newspaper, we can update our knowledge. The newspaper is the pioneer in the field of mass media. This newspaper was published in Britain in 1702. 1702. We were telling about the Pony Express in 1850s. But before that, the newspaper began in Britain. It became popular only in 1890s. Though they began the newspaper in 1702, but it became very popular or common in 1890s. Nowadays, the newspaper has become almost as necessary as food and clothing. As the food and clothing is very necessary for the human being, now newspaper also has become the very necessary one. The primary function of the newspaper is to provide news of all kinds. We get all kinds of news in the newspaper. Millions of copies are printed, read and discussed every day in our country, and you know most of the prominent newspapers in Kerala. Malayalam Manorama, Madhrubhumi, The Hindu, Deepika. The statesman is anxious to know the latest developments in the political sphere. Now coming to each level, we can see the statesman, they will always focus on the political news. So they are anxious to know about it. The businessman wants to correct information about market conditions. Businessman want to know about the market conditions. Then the common man has a natural curiosity to know about almost everything in general. The ordinary people, they want to know everything in general. A successful newspaper caters to the needs of all kinds of readers, scientists, sportsmen, politicians, businessmen, lawyers and job seekers. Most of the successful newspaper caters, they give all levels of news in the newspaper. So we have a question here. How is the newspaper helpful to students? How it is helpful? Businessmen, politician, common men, sportsmen and scientists. You will get the answer from the paragraph itself. Besides being informative, newspapers possess literary value too. Besides being informative, newspapers possess literary values too. That means in the newspaper not only the information, but it gives the literary things too. That means for the educational. They contain articles, commentaries, book reviews, stories, poems, biographies, etc. The editorials and the lead articles in the newspaper exert much influence on its readers. The readers are influenced by the articles those are given in the newspaper. The editorials and the lead articles in a newspaper exert much influence on its readers. Some people know they will be reading, first they will be reading the editorial. They form and mold public opinion. Businessmen can advertise in the newspapers and thus reach their customers. So when the advertisement is given in the newspaper, people will come to know about it. So the customers adapt, or they will be wanting, they will be knowing all what is happening with this advertisement. Companies' developments or updates. The press has a sacred responsibility. They have a sacred responsibility, means they have to write the truth. That will be a cause of shame for some. Sometimes it will be a sorrow for the another. But they have to keep up the truth. It's a news, and news should be true and impartial. They cannot stand by certain people. They should give the true news. The press also serves as a platform where the reader can express his individual and independent view on any burning issue of the day. So, the newspaper is giving a chance, space for the common people to have the dialogue. What is happening all around the world. The newspaper updates our knowledge of the world around us. It updates our knowledge. The newspaper updates our knowledge of the world around us, but we should not blindly believe everything that is printed in the newspapers. But we have to be very cautious about what we are reading. Sometimes the truth will not be the thing that they are presented in the newspaper. News stories may at times be exaggerated or distorted. Sometimes it can be distorted. Sometimes it will be exaggerated. The thing will be very small, but they will put masalas, all the things, and sometimes the news will not be that true. Yet, the newspaper has a very significant role in promoting national integration. So, the newspaper has got the great role to play in the lives of men. So, there are two more questions. Why do firms advertise their products in newspaper? It's already there. Why is it said that the press should remain true and impartial? While reading newspapers, you might have come across very interesting and informative headlines. You may now collect some newspaper headlines and examine their important features. So fill in the columns given below. You may use some of the words given in brackets: catchy, informative, simple, humorous, impressive, accurate, emotional, touching, etc. So here one activity is there. Name of the newspaper you have to write, and the headlines which are given there. Then the features informative. Here once you just learned about the newspaper. Let's now know more about the newspaper and go deeper in those studies and complete the reading. So here we can say the newspaper. Okay, and if you want it as a reading, then you have to draw one line here. Then, okay, lines for it. Divide it